r/relationships. Adbish says, went a little crazy on my husband about a new young girl at work, a decade younger than me. My 28 husband's 27 boss 33 took this girl 18 on from a different part of the company and now spends most of his time with her at work. He also just hired another young girl 18 or 19 off of Indeed for a different position. It's not super normal to have young girls working there because it's a car shop, but they can do what is being asked and the position is not high labor, so it works out, except I just get weird vibes about this boss being a creep. Anyways, this is about my husband. So I start hearing more than normal about this new young girl. More so than he has ever talked about anyone else at work. This alone didn't bother me as first. But then came some other information my gut just didn't feel right. One day he up and told me that she was buying him coffee a lot, multiple times a week. I think he told me because it was bothering him, and he also told me he said to her, "What, do you have a crush on me or something?" and told her to save her money. Which I respect him for, and for telling me. However, it's strange to me how he told me that she got a white girl to like you, and said that she showed him a picture of it while at work. It's on her image. I honestly started to feel unsure. I honestly have not felt jealous in a long time. We have been together for 7 years and have never had any doubts, and our relationship is strong. What we have built is sacred, and we both know that. However, I'm hung up on this girl and ended up telling him that I was uncomfortable about the entire thing and that it was upsetting that there was all this appeal for a new young girl in the shop and that he was bringing her up a lot more than normal. He let me know he understood why it would seem that way and that didn't view her that way. He said it was a new face and that's why. But I said that it normally is not like that with a new old lady or man. He seemed to understand why I was bothered. He said that he would never give her life up for someone else, especially a young girl. I struggle a lot with being stuck on things, maybe because of my OCD, so once I got it off my chest, and he reassured me that there is absolutely nothing there, I kind of couldn't let it go fully. I don't feel good about how I most recently brought it up, and feel like the very old toxic side of me came out, and I just feel gross about myself. I was upset that she showed him her tattoo, and that they're close enough for that to be a thing. This is a shop full of old men. He is the youngest guy there, and is the boss. Young girls just have never been something they've had, until now that his new boss hired her. He has never cheated on me. I don't know how to let this go and stop thinking like a toxic crazy person, because I genuinely feel bad and gross. I think I just have an idea in my head of her, but I don't even know her and don't know her intentions. I don't like the idea of how close it seems they may have gotten before I learned more about it. The coffee buying, the showing of the tattoo, the fact that he talked about her a lot, it just bothers me, and I'm not usually jealous, so I wish I knew how to stop. I'm afraid my husband will be unattracted to me because I'm a gross jealous wife, and who wants that? Yuck. Does anyone have any advice on how I can let it go fully and be a better wife? Too long. Didn't read. The new young girl hired at my husband's work makes me feel jealous, and I want to know how to let it go even though it doesn't. Stern Junk says, your husband sounds based, you either trust him or you don't. Endless Spammer says, you need to ask yourself why you don't trust him. It would be one thing if he ran the shop and he was deliberately hiring all of these girls to work with him, but it just sounds like he happens to have some coworkers who are female and he's friendly with them. This is his career. It'd be unreasonable for you to expect input over who his coworkers are or to forbid him from chatting with them. It sounds like you have some insecurities about your level of attractiveness and you are projecting them onto him. Own up to your feelings of insecurity and try sharing them with him. Maybe you would feel better if he let you know how much he's attracted to you, and he doesn't know this. What you need to stop doing is building resentment towards him for just doing his job and being a friendly employee. That has the potential to drive a big wedge in your relationship. Robbitil21 says, how was your husband's demeanor when he talked about her? Did he seem overly happy? Excited? That will tell you a lot. Fothizzle says, I work on a sales team with a bunch of young women, and my GF was definitely insecure about it at first. But I got them hanging out because I genuinely trust and like my coworkers as friends, which solved it. So maybe you could make a planned appearance at work, meet the girls, and make them into your little prods instead of someone you're threatened by. Otherwise, if you are still feeling insecure, I'd give therapy a try. Because being jealous and all that isn't cool. I know that my GF was jealous, so I proactively did things to show her there's nothing to worry about. This is along the lines of your husband reporting something as simple as a coworker bringing coffee. Limplet7877 says, whatever will happen, that's what I always think. If he's going to cheat he will, but stressing yourself out and putting strain in your relationship won't help. However, your husband sounds like he's telling you all that's happened in his day. So for now don't let this get in the way, but maybe try focus on you instead of putting energy into the doubt. Trust your husband and don't let this kid get in the way of your relationship. Keep an open conversation with him, but he sounds quite uncomfortable the things in which he's told you about her. Elegant Rectum says, I don't think it's unusual that he would bring her up more than he brings up other new employees. If the girl is really flirting with him, buying him coffee, and he suspects she has a crush, I think that would come up more in conversation naturally than just some random person joining the team at work and going about their business. It's an eventful thing, so of course he talks about it more. You admit that you have a mental illness that causes you to become stuck on things, and I think it's something that can be worked on in therapy. All I can say to you is that there is no use worrying anyway, because there is nothing you can do about it. You cannot control what your husband does. If he wants to cheat, he will, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Her intentions don't really matter. All that. r/relationships. No Technician 1858 says, how do I tell my BF that I found out he's cheating when at his family home out the country for a week? TL, doctor, my BF has been sexting other girls, but I'm stuck in his country for a week. My BF, M21, and I, F21, have been in a long distance relationship for 3 years. We live in 2 different countries with a few hours of flight between us. It's been difficult, but we've handled it well, being able to see each other pretty often and communicating on a daily basis about our lives. I really value the way we could communicate freely and regularly, when I know some regular couples can't even get past that. For the last 6 months my sex drive has been very low, so it's been frustrating my boyfriend that we cold and sixt and have sex as much as we used to. He did speak about his frustrations, and I did tell him that I couldn't force anything on my behalf. He promised he'd be patient and he'd try to help me get through it. He has been respectful and said that he was always there if I felt like talking about anything. Now, I'm in his country, in his home with his whole family, and things were going well. My sex drive is a bit better when we are not apart, obviously. While he was taking a nap yesterday, I was folding my clean laundry. I noticed a notification from Twitter, which is an app he never told me he ever used, from what I can remember. I see that it's a dirty message from a girl describing a kink we share. My heart starts racing, and I grab the phone. I open the notification and read that he was texting this girl only sexual messages the day before my plane landed for at least a week or 2. They were really graphic from what I could read, but out of anger I deleted everything and blocked the girl before I could read everything. I also saw on his phone screenshots of her sexual tweets and her nudes from Twitter. My heart feels broken, but It's been hard to cry at all because I don't know how to react considering the situation I'm in. I find being close to him to make me uncomfortable. Here's where I need advice. I leave his country in 6 days. There's no planes that are in my price range to go back home, or hotel rooms that I have enough money to stay in for that amount of time. What should I do? Should I tell him and let things be awkward for 6 days? I really care about his family. They are a lovely and kind bunch that have always welcomed me with open arms. I don't want to put them in the middle of it. Should I keep quiet and tell him the last day before I leave? Or maybe tell him once I'm back in my country? Please help me. My heart is always racing when thinking about this situation. Sorry if this was not well written. He's sleeping next to me RN and I'm panicking. Senior Evolution 70 says, stay there and act normal. Once back home safe, ghost him while also contacting his side pieces that he was cheating on you with them. They might think he is single and participated. If they are decent they would all drop him. Janeslery 14 says, I would say keep it to yourself until you've left. But be careful not to allow yourself get roped back into him emotionally. A lot can happen in 6 days. It's enough to make you start rethinking things. Drunk Tides says, don't say anything. Love bomb his ass to make him feel guilty. Get some presents out of him. Turn the feelings off now. Dump his ass when home. Cheaters don't deserve our guilt or shame. Animator Difficult 429 says, are you definitely breaking up? I mean he will give you the runaround, most likely say he's sorry blah blah blah. Maybe have the conversation the day before you leave, or if you aren't leaving first thing in the morning that day. This will probably continue to be an issue if you don't break up with him FYI. Rutnick says, wait until you are in a place where you not only feel safe but are safe. Do some research on the country's treatment of women, their rights, etc. 65 says, I'd say if you can, act like you haven't found out and use these 6 days to process what you found out and what are your next steps when you leave. If you reveal it now and it blows up, then you'd have to deal with your emotions while being in a completely foreign area, alone. Stantron says, you don't. You say you don't feel well to explain any weirdness, then you wait until the trip is over to break up. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You can just keep repeating you don't feel well. Stay safe. Cecil Pallad says, there's no planes that are in my price range to go back home, or hotel rooms that I have enough money to stay in for that amount of time. Can you reach out to your parents, family, or friends to borrow some money? I would try to leave ASAP personally. 6 days is a long time to pretend everything is okay when clearly it is not. Maybe you can make up an excuse that someone in your family passed or are in the hospital and you have to go back immediately. Tom Audi says, honesty is the best policy. Unless safety is a concern, just be honest with him the way you wish he had been honest with you. If safety is a concern, then wait it out. Heart According 5241 says, pretend nothing is wrong, don't have sex with him, make up excuses not to, and when you leave block him on everything, don't say anything, just ghost him. Civo 1400 says, personally I would keep quiet and avoid the argument/family issues until you leave. Stay civil. Then get on the plane and text him that you are disappointed in him and wish him all the best in life. Block him, no discussion, and move on with your life. You sound like a good person with standards. Someone like him has shown his true self. Good luck with it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.